just be a quick video on the hedge funds owning single-family homes deal that's going around. I know that there's a bill that I guess they're proposing, and I think it's the House, that's going to make it to where hedge funds can't own single-family homes. Let's assume for just a moment here that they don't put a whole bunch of riders and crap in there, and it's just a simple bill. That's a big assumption. It's probably not going to happen. But even if that were the case, I don't like to just, kind of poop on everything, but at the same time, there's also a reality. And my years in business, this is just what I've noticed of how this kind of stuff tends to play out. Is it going to be crafted in such a way that it's not allowed to be owned by an LLC that is owned by another LLC that's owned by one of these giant hedge funds? Probably not. Some of these guys are not terribly sophisticated, and of course there's always a way around this kind of stuff. This is one of those unfortunate situations where if you're going to have a law, and I'm not a big fan of this stuff, but if you're going to have a law that's going to be about land and about home ownership in the U.S., this is one of those ones where you can't do a negative law. You would have to do what's called a positive law, meaning, so a negative law is something like Congress shall not infringe on your right to keep and bear arms, right? That's called negative law. It's saying specifically what you may not do. Well, you'd have to almost need what's called a positive law, meaning that it would be phrased this way. Only American citizens shall own property in the U.S. That would be how you would have to phrase something like that. Would be only American citizens are able to own land or homes in the U.S. That's how you would phrase it. And so that would mean that no more corporate ownership of lands. Lands would have to be owned by an individual, and then they could lease it to a corporation, but somebody would actually, an American citizen would be responsible and actually own all that land. Same thing with houses, same thing with apartment complexes and so on. Now, the other side of that, of course, is, and this is something else to point out, if they make it illegal for hedge funds to own single-family homes, what will end up happening is construction, banking will shift its lending to building only apartments. There will almost be no new houses built unless somebody is going to just go out of pocket and build their own home. Worse things could happen, but then again, keep in mind, remember, a lot of these companies just keep buying up huge swaths of land, Bill Gates style, and keep, and of course, unfortunately, Americans are all about law and order because we're stuck in that phase right now. Eventually, you guys will evolve out of this. You'll evolve past that law and order bullshit, and you'll realize that that's being used against you to take everything that, that the founders conquered this goddamn land for us, right? So it's a conundrum, but, nonetheless, there it is. So just to point this out, to tie this off, those of you who are thinking that this is going to be a silver bullet that's going to solve everything, it's not. It's probably just going to make it, to where they'll just have to add a couple of more layers of LLCs, a couple more layers of proxy owners. That's all that'll end up happening with this, unfortunately, unless you can get something to the effect of only American citizens shall own land in this country.